Hey guys, welcome back. Again, my name is Laura Steinbach, and I'm here to show you in this video how I automate document templates. And I'll be using the document tagger from Documate. Let's see. I already signed in and everything, and unfortunately I had to cram the document interview over here just so that the program I'm using can record this part of the screen. So apologies that it's not full screened. I wanted to also address that you can automate PDF templates using Documate. So let me show you on the output document section, you would have to unlock your PDF here and you would fill it out through the document itself when it's uploaded here. However, I recommend straying away from PDFs as much as possible just because that process wasn't simplified yet on Documate, at least not as of this date. So I highly encourage you to use your PDF converter on Adobe, or there are other websites that also do it for free. I highly encourage you to use that and format it the way you want it to be formatted, and then automate the Word template just because it's so much faster to use the Documate tagger with the Word plugin. So now here, I'm just going to show you how I would go about this process. It's actually rather easy. See, we have full name, respondent name, I believe. Let's see, name. Case number. Oh, we didn't grab the case number when I made this interview, so we'll leave that blank for now. The client can fill it out later. It's not an issue. So that's just inserting simple variables. As you can see, it's rather easy. You just select, and you can also search by any portion of the names you have filled out here, which is super helpful, or the variable names which are filled out there. The next important part is doing conditional logic, which I kind of alluded to in another video. About how to use these checkboxes, and it all hinges on getting the variable right when you're building out the interview, or the question type right. So if you don't have a yes no question, a checkbox question type, a single select question type, these types of conditional logic is harder to do unless some variables can be blank. That's another one you don't need a variable for, or a conditional logic for. But in this particular instance, I'm going to show you how to do the checkbox feature that I use. So let's see, we have omit address. If it's yes, check mark this. If it's no, we'll have an unchecked box. And as you can see, the formatting is getting shifted around, but thankfully the code will not appear like this when you generate the document. So that's why formatting is the most important step before you even dive into document automation. So if you skip the formatting step that I did in the first video, you may have issues later on as you progress. So just keep that in mind. So I'm just going to quickly fill out everything else here. BOB. Okay, and in this situation where you have dates, I highly encourage you to use the MMDDYYYY formatting. I find that easier to conform with court forms. It also saves a lot of space instead of the form typing out the entire name of the month, which is super helpful. And this is something I wanted to address here. Since Since we have an alternate address that can be placed here, I wanted to also dive into this aspect before I do a jump skip here. So let me finish filling all this out. All right. So we got our basic address filled out, but remember on the form, we need to be able to omit this address. So if it's no, we're going to cover this in conditional logic too. Okay. Now that we have the no emission situation, let's go ahead and insert our alternate address. So when it's yes, we'll just wrap the variables around like that. Also, I just realized that I didn't really cover how to insert conditional logic. So I know a lot of Documate beginners that just think they can insert this and it'll do what you need it to do. It's not going to do that. You need to you need to highlight or select the variable that you want to appear or disappear based on logic or the scenario. So make sure you highlight that and hit insert, like what I'm doing right now. That makes it to where it actually wraps around the variable. There. So I'm going to go do a time skip and fill out the rest of this form. It's honestly the same method as everything else here. So I'll be back. Hey guys. So now that I'm back, you can see that I finished filling out all the, except race. All the fields except race. Excuse me. Let's just add that real quick. There we go. Now, don't be scared of the crazy formatting here. We know we have it right, and the code is not going to output like this on the document, so we're fine. I just wanted to point out that the other fields I'm missing is case number because I did not ask that in this interview. I am also not collecting the date or the signature just because in my experience with working on court forms, a lot of courts don't recognize electronic signatures, at least through Documate. Like you need like a hello sign or was it DocuSign? That's a popular one. Most courts will want like a wet signature or some way to verify that e-signature, for instance. So I'm just leaving these blank for now. So next thing we do is save it. And another cool thing that is actually a new feature that I noticed on a Documate was that you can update documents on the bottom right hand of this toolbar. But since I don't have documents in this workflow, I can't really update the document through this feature. So I'm actually just going to move this out of the way, make this bigger, and I'm just going to upload it. Sorry, I just needed to hide that folder real quick. Selecting the file information docs. Looks like the right one. So we're just waiting for it to upload. There we go. It's uploaded. I know it says save here, but I go ahead and save it like a million times just so I don't have to worry about any other issues coming up. But Now we're going to quickly run through this and test and see whether we like the output document. So kind of similar to before, I'm just filling out all these fields just so we can test the output. Let's fill out everything. Let me make this appear smaller. Let's see. So now you can see the output right here. So this looks good. That looks good. These look good. That looks great. Race is long, but as you can see, if we actually typed in an actual race, we're not going to have this issue. It can accommodate up to this amount of characters. Height can accommodate up to this amount of characters. Hair color can accommodate that amount of characters. Eye color can accommodate this amount of characters. Yeah, this all looks good. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to show you how to edit answers so you can just double check and make sure that your tables are working appropriately. Because as you could see, I had table shifting down. So let's put in some real answers in there. If I could just find it, let's see. We wanted, oh, it was over here. We wanted race change. Let's just say that 5'11", hair color brown, eye color blue. Download this document. Ooh, super tiny. Okay, there you go. Now that looks better. Now that we actually have actual answers here, this looks a lot better. If anyone's curious about the tool I'm using to run through the tests, it's a fake form filler. Fake form filler was recommended by Documate in one of their training videos on their website. Highly encourage you to download that too. It makes testing so much faster. Now, another aspect of testing that we offer is if this is supposed to be client facing, we actually have internal testers test the interview and also the documents to make sure that the question phrasing, section phrasing, and header phrasing, all that phrasing sounds, it can be understood by a layperson. So that's an additional step we offer. And we'll also go the extra mile to check the output documents, of course, to make sure that looks good. And that's the finished prototype of this JDF 577. If you were following along, great job. You did amazing. And if you have any questions or you would like to recruit me as a documator, feel free to reach out to me. And thank you for your time. Have a good one.